Hello, Marvel fans, and welcome to What's New in Marvel Unlimited, where we take a look at the comics new to the Marvel Unlimited app. As always, there's a great selection of interesting stuff to take a look at. We've done our reading, and now we're here to help you navigate the vast chronicles of comics within the Marvel Unlimited app.
Alright, hey there everybody. Welcome back after an extended vacation to What's New in Marvel Unlimited. My daughter Siena and I are here. We're going to be talking about the comics the week May 19th to 25th. So, first off, a couple housekeeping things. You may have noticed that Dwayne and I's normal weekly podcast on Murdoch and Marvel did not come out yesterday. That's because we are taking a couple week break. However, Siena and I are here, going to visit a little bit about the new Marvel stuff that came out, and keep us busy while we're waiting for Dwayne to return.
Yippee!
Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about before we go on, we haven't done one of these since the convention.
Yeah.
So Siena and I had a panel at the C2E2 convention in Chicago late last month. A lot of fun.
It was scary.
Scary, but you did not run in terror. You seemed to have a good time. The woman who was working there doing the audio was really helpful.
Yeah, she was really nice. I liked her.
Yeah, they did a great job. Everything worked well with the technology and the like, and we had actually a really good crowd. So I was very pleased being the first panel in the morning with people just
on
coming
Sunday?
in. No, we were Saturday.
Oh, Sunday. Yeah.
So it was a good day,
right.
but I was not sure how many people would make it up. I think the final count was 50 or 60 people came and hung out with us and talked Marvel Comics and Marvel Unlimited. So, and a good portion of those were subscribers of Marvel Unlimited, folks who were paying for the service and using it, and for the most part enjoying it. So that was very cool. What did you think of doing this? You have a good time with it?
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't, like, bad. But I was scared, and I don't know if I would do it again, like, right away.
You did something you were not entirely comfortable with, going up there and talking comics with everybody. Well, did a great job. I think everybody had some good questions, and we had a fun time. I really enjoyed it. But then I've been a teacher and the like for years, and so I'm used to being in front of people and talking, and I like that stuff. So, nonetheless, a little more comfortable with this environment, just kind of podcasting one-on-one instead of sitting in front of a room full of people.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk comics then. So there were 20 new books that came out this week. We're not even going to try to catch up on the month we missed. Mm-hmm. And we missed that month largely because going to the convention put Siena behind just as we were getting to the end of the school year, and I did not want to stress her out by making her read comics. So, it's,
yeah.
Oh, the evil of a parent making their child read comic books. What kind of monster would I have been? But
well, last day of school tomorrow, so...
We're getting near the end. She's finished up her tests.
Yeah.
She has aced her math test.
Oh, yeah, I got 100%. Uh-huh.
So, and she's ready now to talk comics. So we had something like, I think 5, as usual, of these are Infinity Comics. Infinity Paws, Avengers United. There's a Juggernaut book, or Kid Juggernaut. There's a Spider-Man Unlimited, and there is an X-Men Unlimited. Did you go through any of these by any chance?
No.
I did not either. I just didn't really see any of them that particularly caught my eye. The Kid Juggernaut one might actually be kind of interesting.
I think I downloaded that one, but I didn't actually read it, because it's the second one, so I haven't read the first one.
And there were a lot of first issues this week to be able to read instead. So among those 20, we had Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. We had Spider-Punk Arms Race, which is a new miniseries. We had Night Thrasher, #1, from the old New Universe stuff. We had an Ultimate X-Men, #1. And was there another one, or was that it?
I think that's all of them.
I think that's it. So, and the other interesting thing is that 2 of these had not only a first issue, but a second issue with them. So both Spider-Punk and Ultimate X-Men dropped 2 comic books so that you could get a little bit more of an idea what you thought of the series immediately when it came out. And I'm not sure how I feel about this. I mean, it's always cool getting more now, but I do worry about what that means later. Like, will it be 2 months now before we get another Spider-Punk book or Ultimate X-Men book? How do they make that work exactly in the long term?
Yeah.
So, anyway, so of the new issues, did you read Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver?
I read all of them.
Okay, what did you think of that one?
I thought that one was interesting. It kind of reminded me of WandaVision, well, because it had, like, her brother in it, and it also had, like, Kat Dennings' character. So...
Yep. And really, they've been doing that. Essentially, Steve Orlando's been writing this. There have been different artists on it. But I think this is like the 3rd Scarlet Witch series in a row, and they keep canceling it and bringing it back. And it's basically the exact same story of her and Kat Dennings hanging out in the magic shop, but they just keep canceling it. Now this time they've added Quicksilver's name to the masthead, so it's more going to be like a brother-sister thing, evidently. But it's still kind of weird that they don't just leave this as one ongoing series.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so you liked it?
Yeah, there was one part I noticed that they used the same drawing for 2 panels. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that, but it doesn't surprise me. I would bet a lot. You're starting to see that more often now that people do digital artwork, because they are starting to sort of reuse assets and things like that.
On page 10 and 11, it's this one, and then the same one there. It's exactly the same.
Oh, that's weird.
And it's this page after, so you can tell. It would be different if they used it like 5 pages later, but it's the exact same thing 2 pages in a row.
That is really kind of egregious. But yeah, that is the thing. Since they're now just doing them digitally, I suppose it's easy to reuse, but that's...
Yeah, it's weird.
That's not good. All right. So, overall, Orlando did the writing again. It was Lorenzo Tometa who committed the faux pas with doubling up the art. Frank William, the coloring on all of these I've actually liked. And this one as well, I think they did a nice job on the coloring. And then Ariana Maher was there on lettering. So, yeah, it was somewhat entertaining. I will note that it was a little weird because a big part of it was Wanda getting a box with a letter from essentially Magneto. And then Quicksilver's like, I don't want to read that. I'm not interested. And she's like, oh, well, I'm not going to let you read it anyway. And then she burns it. And then suddenly he really wants to read it. And that's basically the entire plot of the issue.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's just mad because she was like, it wasn't something you were supposed to read. And then he was like, well, what was I not supposed to know? And now I want to know what I wasn't supposed to know.
See, but then she should have just not said anything.
Yeah. So I'm like, if you didn't want to read it, then...
He was already leaving. He was going to be halfway across the country in the next
Then
3
it doesn't
seconds.
matter.
So, yeah, not a great plan. Unless she was just trying to tick him off, like sisters
I guess
tend
we'll
to do.
never know.
But anyways, that was, if you've been enjoying the other Scarlet Witch series, you're probably going to enjoy that one. I've been mostly enjoying them. They are slow, to the point where I think overall getting a Scarlet Witch trade paperback or waiting and reading 5 or 6 of them at a time is probably best, because then a little bit more happens. How about Spider-Punk?
Oh, I read both of those, and I was really excited about them because I like mostly because I really like him in Spider-Verse. And he looks different in this one, but I think he also looks cool. Because I think it would be bad if they didn't make him look cool, because that's kind of his whole thing.
That really is his thing, yeah.
So...
And this is an alternate Earth of some sort, where essentially he has helped... I assume there's a story we missed here, where somehow he helped save the world, or at least America, and now Black Panther is coming in to help sort of rebuild. And as part of that, Spider-Punk is one of the people who's being entrusted with kind of helping manage the rebuild. He's got now an entire group with him that is helping him do this.
They're like teen heroes.
Yep. So, and a lot of them are similar to the existing heroes, but different. So, like, Riri Williams is still kind of Ironheart, but she's got a slightly different name. Daredevil is not Daredevil anymore. Daredevil is...
Matea.
Yeah, Matea or whatever. So
Matea Murdock.
Yeah, so Kamala Khan is now Ms. Marvel. Matea Murdock is Daredevil. Riri Williams is Riot Heart. Carl Morningdew is Captain Anarchy. And then Hobie Brown is Spider-Punk. And it appears that it's sort of a similar but different kind of Earth. We've still got a Doc Ock equivalent and a Lizard equivalent and all of these guys that they have to beat up on. What did you think of it overall?
I liked it. I thought it was, I don't know, it was less interesting almost than I thought it was going to be, but I thought the art was really cool.
I think you've hit pretty close to where I think this is one that tries really hard to be cool.
Yeah, because it's like, they use teen slang and they use all this stuff that's like supposed to be for kids, but it's like, it kind of just seems like they're adding that as like a extra thing.
Seems like, yeah, it tries a little too hard, and unfortunately I don't think it gets there. The art is really cool. I don't like one thing, and that is that they've changed the lettering style so that, and it's interesting, I'll give it that. So Travis Lantham, who's a really good letterer, does the lettering on this, and what they've done is transposed it so that when you got a letterer or bold lettering, the bold lettering is red, and all the lettering appears to be bold.
Yeah.
So it's all the lettering is much stronger than it would normally be. And if you've got something that would be bolded, instead they put it in red. Not just sometimes, but through the entire book.
I know, that kind of threw me off a little bit, because it's like every other word is red, and it's like kind of hard to read.
Yeah, and even if it's not hard to read, it's distracting.
Yeah,
it's not
that's what I meant, yeah.
So, I'm not happy with that. I think that maybe occasionally it would have been a thing, but having that as a fundamental aspect of the series just kind of distracts from it for me. So I'm a little bit, I like it when they try something new, but this would be one I wouldn't mind if they throw in the trash heap. So,
yeah.
There you go. Outside of that, it seemed like, it was interesting, and in some ways it almost reminded me of sort of the British books of the 80s in terms of what they were trying to do. They were trying to go back to that like Eagle 80-2000 sort of style. And I think artistically they kind of got there to a certain extent, but the story didn't necessarily get there. There's an actual ridiculous anarchy about those old British books that I don't think they quite hit here. Still, it was a good effort.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Right, so then another one that we had was Night Thrasher. Did you read through that one?
Yeah.
You don't know this character at all, probably.
No, and I kind of already don't remember it at all.
That's fair, actually. It's kind of a very standard sort of story of the lost hero. Night Thrasher's a guy who was with the New Warriors back in the day, and then it looks like they're kind of trying to resuscitate that character, at least in a miniseries type of format or whatever. I did not find it particularly interesting. I think it was, again, something that was kind of formulaic and on rails. So it was not bad. The art, I think, was kind of a little bit subdued, and maybe could have been a little bit crisper, considering the type of story they were telling. But I think nonetheless it was okay, but not exactly the sort of first issue that's necessarily going to really grab a person.
Yeah.
So, outside of that, any of the non-number ones that you wanted to talk about?
So the other ones I read Blade and Superior Spider-Man and Black Panther and Gwen, and that's it. And Thunderbolts.
All right. So Thunderbolts, I don't know there's a whole lot to talk about there.
Not really.
It's basically, one of the guys gets really big and fights an American Godzilla. It's like literally Godzilla with an American flag in his stomach. Which is as ridiculous as it sounds, to be quite frank. Bucky Barnes ends up getting this ring that allows him to become super huge. American Godzilla. Yeah. Is that your panel of the week?
It was one of them.
This is my panel of the week, just because it's ridiculous. It's literally the Winter Soldier and Godzilla with an American flag painted on his stomach, battling over a city and causing untold damage, as Godzilla fights will do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's probably enough on this one. What did you think of Blade?
I liked this one. It went back to the original art style, which I like better than the other one. Even though it was fine for that one issue, but when I was talking about it before, I said I don't want them to keep doing that, and they didn't.
Yep, and then there's Satana in it, who's kind of this weird character.
Yeah.
Been around the Marvel Universe for a long time, and essentially Blade wants to get back to Hell, so he's got to find a way back.
Yeah, and initially when he was talking about that, all I could think about was the Dead Boy detectives going to Hell.
Exactly.
Coming back, I was like,
it's a thing. Hopefully Blade does not get chased by some weird spider.
Baby doll spider?
Made out of baby dolls. So, yeah, I agree. I thought that was a fun one. I'm continuing to be intrigued by the story. I think they did a nice job with that. Mm-hmm. And at that point, Spider-Gwen? Spider-Gwen Smash? What were your thoughts on that? That's a fourth issue of that, or third?
Third. Yeah. I like this one. I like this story. I feel like less happened in this one, like action-wise, because
nothing happened in this
they
one.
didn't fight anyone.
No.
It was more like this thing where, oh my gosh, things are happening with the band, and she's like trying to deal with her band and deal with the Dazzler at the same time, trying to protect her, and then something bad happens. Something very bad happens, guys.
Yes. So.
But the last panel is really cool. I think it looks really cool, and I can't say anything without giving away what happens, but it's if I can get.
So now, just to make sure, I believe.
This is really cool.
Yeah, I believe Spider-Man's dead in this universe. That's the whole thing with Spider-Man, right? She becomes Spider-Man because...
Or at least there is no Spider-Man.
Because Peter Parker dies. So, I think what we're finding now is that the whole thing is that Mary Jane is just going to fall in love with Spider-Man in every universe. Even if there is no Spider-Man, she falls in love with Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman instead.
Maybe.
Well, why is she...
I mean, that would make sense, I guess.
In any case, there's something weird going on between MJ and...
Because I feel like that was a weird detail to add at this point, because I feel like they didn't talk about that at all before.
Yeah.
And now suddenly it's just like, it seemed like everyone was supposed to know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. So, in any case, there's relationship stuff and misunderstandings and Dazzler being cool and all sorts of things in it. I think this is a pretty interesting book. There's a heel turn by what would otherwise be normally in the regular Marvel universe, a good guy. A few things going on there. And then your favorite book of the week.
Well, we didn't talk about this one.
Oh, all right. And then one I didn't get a chance to read.
Oh.
So this one's up to you, Superior Spider-Man.
Superior Spider-Man. I've been kind of interested in this one, because it's kind of a weird story. Like, the whole Doc Ock was inside Peter Parker's, like, brain, and he was controlling him, and then he made this, like, evil woman who like now thinks that Peter Parker is evil and she's trying to kill him even though he didn't do anything. And so now there's this whole thing. But this one was different because now Doc Ock is now trying to get back inside his brain so he can save his like girlfriend or something. But then they're like fighting inside his brain.
He can be the platypus controlling him.
Yeah, and he was like, we both have armies, so let's just fight each other to not have like all the chaos. And he was like, okay, and then something crazy happens.
All right. Well, so you think this is one I should probably take a look at?
Yeah, if you read the other ones, this one's it's kind of weird because it's like it's more conceptual, I think, than other ones, but it's still like really interesting. It's like not boring like you might think it would be, about them like talking about like their pasts and all their like plans, and like, oh, my girlfriend is like now evil because of you, even though I was the one that did it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's
That
still
is
cool.
weird. Alright, good enough. And then at that point, we've got, I guess, our favorites. I'll let you go first. Your favorite of the week is?
I liked the Ultimate X-Men one. Dad told me to read this one because he said he had opinions about it, but I actually liked it because it's got like a weird horror thing going on, and I also really like the art of it. So yeah, because I think the art was really cool. It was kind of anime-ish, so I thought it was really cute. And the colors are really nice.
So it's by Peach Momoko, who is an artist who has her own entire different style. But I think if you wanted to, like we've talked about how you found the X-Men to be very daunting because of their long history and all the characters and all the stuff they're doing and whatever else, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, they need to find a way to make this more interesting for newer generations. Well, what they did in Ultimate X-Men, it appears, is simply reset the entire universe. That's kind of what the Ultimate Universe is about. And then reintroduced it using two characters that most longtime fans have almost no real idea who they are. Armor is a character who, to be quite frank, I know best from Marvel's Snap, more than actually from the comics, although she's been around for a while. And the new one called essentially Maystorm is essentially a character that I think Peach Momoko made as a variant cover a while ago and then decided she wanted to turn into an actual character. And so these are sort of the two lead stars of this one. So we are just plain starting over.
Yeah, so it's Mei Igarashi. Nope, Igarashi.
Mei Igarashi is evidently the storm of this universe. So, and then Hisako Ichiki would be the main protagonist right now, kind of almost like a Kitty Pryde for this universe. But yeah, I mean, I hate it, but I think it might be cool
Why
for other
people. Why do you hate it?
Because it makes no sense to me.
Because they're just people you don't know?
Well, and it's...
It doesn't seem X-Men to me. Not that I know anything about X-Men, but...
And you know what? I celebrate this, because this is what I've been saying they need to do for a long time. We'll see. Hopefully...
You said they need to do it, and you're now, I hate it!
I didn't say I'd like it, but I'm not supposed to like it. This kind of whole point is that, I mean, I've had 40 years of X-Men comics that were written for me, and unfortunately they've created this massive sprawl that makes it difficult for new readers. So what we need is something that makes no sense and is uncomfortable for invested fans, but hopefully gives younger folks who want to get into X-Men an on-road to actually be able to enjoy the series. So, but in any case, it's totally different and it's very accessible.
Yeah,
like
I really like the girl you said was like Storm. I think she looks cool, and she was like the reason why I like these. I think that the way that she's drawn is really cool.
They all look. Peach Momoko's art is just fantastic, and everybody looks cool. And in actual fact, I don't hate it. I just don't understand it. And suddenly, 50 or 60 years of X-Men knowledge is completely useless to me, and I don't even know the main character.
Oh no!
And I feel sad.
Oh no!
So, no, it's an interesting story. We've got this weird, ghosty kind of character that is haunting. It seems like one of the classmates had something bad happen, and now either that classmate has come back as a ghost and is taking vengeance, or somebody else is. But, as of right now, there's no Professor X. There is no, sort of like mansion or anything like that. It is a very different conception of the X-Men so far.
Yeah. I just like it because of the art and because it's kind of horror-ish.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Look at that. I recommended the story to you.
See, I was like, I thought that the art and the cover looked cool, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll read that, and then I was like, oh, but it's X-Men. I'm not going to know what it's talking about.
All right, and then as far as my favorite, I really did like this week's Vengeance of the Moon Knight, and you probably haven't been.
I haven't read it.
Been reading those. That's fine. But
is this the one where he came back to life or something?
He has not come back to life. He's dead. There's other things going on. He's going to come back. Don't worry.
I would think so.
It'll be okay, Siena.
I would think he would come back.
But this issue focuses mostly on Tigra, who has been one of my favorite parts of the series for the last couple of years. They've done Jed McKay and Alessandro Capuccio and everybody has done a fantastic job with Tigra. And so her kind of getting a chance to be the lead in this one, I think, was a lot of fun. So that's my pick of the week, I think. So outside of that, it's been a little while. It's good to get back into reading comics.
Did you do panel of the week?
Oh. No, I kind of talked about mine. Would be the massive kaiju panel.
I think.
What about yours?
One of mine. That was one of mine, but another one was in Spider-Punk. I don't remember which one it was, but it's basically like any time that he has like that he's like in action and he has that little outline around him. I think it's really cool. Like kind of like this, but so like page 14, or there's another one in here. Like page 18 where they have this little outline around them. I think it's really cool.
And that's in issue 2, right?
Yes,
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just like that because it also reminds me of the...
Kind of the way the animation was done?
Yes, and I like that, so... I also just really like his costume. I think it's really cool. Yeah. And I really like the covers for these
Covers
two.
are brilliant.
Yeah.
Marvel's covers the last few years have been really...
Because
really
the covers of the Ultimate X-Men and the Spider-Punk are really cool. Those are like my favorites.
Well, and Momoko up till a while ago was doing a lot of cover work, and in fact, you wouldn't have seen a lot of it because many of her covers were variants that were like the retailer incentives, the ones that are lower print run type of things. And so it's weird because she's a really good artist, and unfortunately because of that, they make these covers as sort of collector pieces, and then hardly nobody sees them because they're not really on the shelves, and they're not the cover that you see in Unlimited. So, in any case, been kind of a weird last month with us not being able to get out here and do any, but we will we'll start getting in. Also, we are looking into potentially changing things up a little bit because Siena has noted once or twice that some of these are starting to seem a little the same to her after reading like 6 months worth of superhero
There's a
comics.
few that I like and I would keep reading, but it's kind of hard to keep starting ones and then like, because not all of them are that interesting. Like, the Night Thrasher one, that's a #1 I'm probably not going to keep reading, or if I do, it's going to just be to see where it goes, not that I'm actually invested in him.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, in any case, that's been the comics for this week. Thanks for joining us, folks, and we will see you soon.
Yes, thank you for joining us again this week, and we'll see you next week for another look at what's new in the world of Marvel Unlimited. And of course, as always, we'd love to hear from you, so email us at unlimitedanswers@comicsovertime.com, or you can find us on Instagram or Blue Sky at comicsovertime. Now make sure to subscribe also in order to get our weekly look at what is new on the Marvel Unlimited app. And you can find us anywhere fine podcasts are available, including iTunes, Google, Amazon, Spotify, and our hosting platform, Podbean.
Absolutely. Thanks, folks.
Bye!